Welcome to the show!
Are you lighting dumpsters on fire?
Last night was bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot.
He's like, oh, it was great. We used to live in the subway tunnels.
Good old innocent fun. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. As always, I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming at you from another back-to-back rainy day in Brooklyn. Not very nice out. Hurricane's coming through. To my left and your right, as always, is the insatiable and always hilarious Mike T. Kerrigan.
I thought you were going to say vivacious.
You know,
What's the T stand for?
I don't know how you even know that. Oh, yeah, it's from my Instagram, Thomas.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah. Pretty
Irish.
Classic Jewish, Jewish vibe. But, oh, yeah, and don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, comment. You know, we're up on everything. Instagram, Spotify. Check us out. Do your thing.
They've gotten less. Mike was really good with the intros, and he's gotten less and less about his part where he just goes, you get it.
Yeah,
You get it, right?
Yeah.
I think they do
Soon
know
AI
that.
will be able to just replace that whole thing.
I know. We won't even have to do the intro anymore.
You might not even have to do a podcast.
We're getting off on a hot one.
Listen.
AI right off the top. We'll be into Hunter Biden in minutes, guys.
That's the dream, is we don't have to do the podcast. We just put it out. The
Yeah.
AI is like,
I mean, somewhere someone is developing an AI where it'll just crank out every permutation of every podcast in like a day on some sort of supercomputer, and won't be able to compete with it.
that'll be so upsetting.
And are you going to introduce our guests? Or just
I'm
let
going to
them-
introduce him, dude.
Okay.
I was letting him get a little teaser in.
Yeah, they got a little taste.
And that sultry voice that you've heard, our guest today, very happy to have him here, the host of Low Value Mail, co-host of the Boys Cast,
Yes.
Toronto native. Everybody, welcome to the pod, Danny Polishchuk.
Hello. Oh, that's
Yeah,
the
That's the
camera.
only camera.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
This is like faking people out. It's like a fake.
Yeah. I guess I'll cheat to that camera. It's
we had
show business talk.
You know, sometimes we had a Mike's phone, and then it always.
I heard it. You
wasn't
said it
working.
would just die mid-show.
It was dying
Yeah.
mid-show. It wasn't transferring. Too much storage. Not enough storage. Just
Dom's the same thing.
Dom's
it worked
was a
once,
problem
perfect.
too.
I don't know why it didn't work again, but anyway. But so Danny, are you?
I mean, the crazy thing is like this is like a $40 solution.
It's,
Like the fact that it's even causing you any aggravation when this is.
what
like,
do you mean? What could we do? A $40 solution?
You could go buy like some Android phone. I don't know.
That's a good point. Listen,
A
They got, like, 6
old GoPro. You could buy like an old camcorder. You could buy like. This is like. I mean, I'm not here to tell you your business, but
this is cutting me deep, and it's
No,
giving me
no,
a
no.
lot to think about.
no, it's not. No, that's the problem. Is you're. It sounds like you're suffering from decision fatigue.
That is true.
Yes, you're thinking there's too many options.
That is true.
Just rip the Band-Aid and just do something.
Yeah, get your life together, bro.
Kerrigan,
I'm
he's
telling
talking
you.
about you too.
No, I know it's you too. Look, everybody suffers from this, myself included, where sometimes I'll be agonizing over these small decisions, and then I'll just be like, just fucking do something.
Just get it.
Just do something. I mean, it's like most of the time you can return it.
That's a good point.
That too. It's like even if you're wrong, you go, okay, well then I can return it. It's
I
like
do the same thing with candy.
you return candy.
No, I'll sit there and I can't make a decision. I'll just leave. I'll
Yeah.
just walk out with no candy.
That's really crazy because that's like the worst case scenario for a decision fatigue.
Yeah, and then
thing.
you're like mad and hungry on your way home.
Yeah.
Like I should have just bought anything.
Should have bought anything, and you're like, how am I walking away empty-handed?
Yeah.
Because of just I
It's
had too many
much
options.
Yeah, too many options.
Well, that's the thing they say with restaurants. Like the worst restaurants are the ones where you go in there and then they have like those crazy like the menus they have 400 things,
You talking about
20
the-
different cuisines.
Talking about the Cheesecake Factory?
Essentially,
I
right?
mean, it's
But
great-
the thing
great
is,
spot.
Cheesecake Factory is a good spot. But the problem with something like that is that when you go in there and you're looking at the menu, you go, it's guaranteed that I'm going to not pick the right thing.
Yeah, you can't do spaghetti, tacos, and egg rolls all good.
No,
okay,
definitely
you can't
not.
offer all three of
No,
those types
the thing
of
is,
foods.
I would even give something like the Cheesecake Factory the benefit of the doubt on that. But like when you see like a bodega and they're like Indian cuisine, Thai cuisine, Chinese food, and you go like, I don't know about
Dude,
that.
there's a
papaya
place.
dog. That's why I never ate there because I'm like they had too many. I'm like no, I'm not eating this.
But it's like it is a real thing where you see that and you go like in your mind you go like, there's no way I'm gonna pick the best thing.
No, dude. There's a place 2 blocks up from here, and they serve. It used to be a Chinese restaurant, and now they serve Mexican food and pizza.
Yeah.
I'm like you guys are not doing.
Oh, the pizza
Any of
plus
those, right.
plus because the thing is usually it's the non-pizza cuisine is their cuisine that they're actually like from their native country, but then they also make pizza.
Ugh.
So generally, it's
bad.
like you're better off getting not the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Arabian pizza is not my thing. You ever go into one of those? You're like, what the hell's going on here?
I've never no.
You
like
like
a chain?
No, there's a couple. There's a specific one I'm thinking of.
Arabian? Is that like Aladdin?
Yeah, like I walked in and I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, how's the pizza? And he like just stared at me with like a dirty look. Like he didn't. I'm like, okay, that answers that question.
Yeah, I mean, I've never got an honest answer about how's the food at the place that
I
sells
know,
the
it's
food.
worst. Sometimes a waiter will give you the key. I've asked waiters and they like won't say it, but they're looking you in the eyes like, get out of here. Don't eat it. You know?
No, my
They
favorite
can't
are the
say,
ones.
like, yeah, the food's disgusting because they'll get fired.
Yeah, my favorite are the ones that have no shame. They just straight up they go, where's the most expensive thing? They go, that's the best one.
Dude, my mom does that. She always was like, I'm between these two. What is the best one? And I've noticed that people are just like, they just say whatever they think you want.
Yeah, of
They're
course.
like, I don't know. I really want the salmon, but the steak looks good. What's better? And they're like, the salmon.
Yeah, because they push the. I
just
used to
don't
work in
care.
a restaurant. They push the fish out. The fish is on its way out.
That makes
They're
sense.
like, dude, you got to push the fish today. It's Wednesday. It goes rotten in
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah. It's not good.
I got to get it out.
Spice it up.
Oh, so dude, thanks for doing the pod.
My pleasure.
So you're from Canada,
Yeah.
born and raised in
Yeah.
Toronto.
Outside of Toronto, Burlington, Ontario.
Okay. For our listeners, they are avid.
Do you have any Canadian
geographers.
listeners? Have you ever seen?
I don't think.
Sorry to get off topic,
please.
but with
This
geography, have you ever seen those people who they play the geography game where they look at like a thing and then within 1 second they can tell you like,
Dude,
is that not like that is like autism level 1 million?
it's like witchcraft.
You
I
got to
think.
explain this a little because I don't know.
You've never seen this? Okay, so this
It's
is like
insane.
there's a game that's been created. I guess it's a game, right? And they play
Yeah.
against each other. And it's like Google Maps the game. I guess they've gamified Google Maps. So what happens is they somehow like program something. So they will show you just one slide of anywhere in the world on Google Maps because Google has mapped out the entire planet.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, here's a fucking street.
Street view?
Street view. Here's a picture of a street in, say, Romania, but it'll be like a wooded road, like you
can't tell.
like it's not like a busy city. Like
Yeah,
might
there's
be
no
like
street signs. There's
nothing. And then they can be like, oh, that's, and they know exactly where it is. It's crazy.
I like don't even believe
Every
it.
picture
Honestly,
to me,
it seems far fetched,
How?
but
It's nuts. Because every picture I'll see and I'm like, oh, that looks like New Jersey.
Yeah.
That looks like upstate New York. And they're just like,
dude,
no, that's
they-
Africa.
yeah, like they'll straight up like they know all the types of trees. They know like how roads are done. They have they get all these clues, and like sometimes they're literally within 50 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
wild.
out of control, dude. I do not know how they do it, and yeah, it's fucking.
It's just they study,
South America.
I know, like they probably just spend all day looking at Google Maps, and they just randomly just pull up photos and they just go everywhere, and then eventually you figure out like, oh, this type of leaf is only in this
That's what I've
country,
seen.
and this
Yeah.
type of they do roads like this in this country, and
They'll do
but they-
like everyone drives on the right side of the road or steering wheel on the right side of the road.
Yeah, of
and
course.
A blue license plate, and there's always an A at the beginning, and they're like,
Well,
that's
license
how I
plate's a
know.
pretty good giveaway.
yeah.
But it's not, dude. It's like it is, but it's not. They'll be like that narrows it down to like 5 different countries, and then it's nuts.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That's unwell.
It's wild. It's a wild game.
So yeah, grew up in Toronto, outside of
Outside
Toronto,
of
in Ontario.
Yes.
I'm real bad with Canadian geography. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's right beside Moose Jaw.
Oh, Moose Jaw. Good old Moose Jaw. That does sound super Canadian. though.
That's the most.
Or Maine. Maine is also a lot of moose stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't call him Moose.
Dude, that's-
no, Moose Jaw's in
It's right next to
Saskatchewan.
Maple Syrup Way. I mean,
Basically.
Jesus. Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw,
Oh,
Saskatchewan.
and
shout
we
out.
also know, for the people at home, we know Danny, Ryan, and JJ. So how did you guys...
How
Are
do
you
we-
guys like
so-
best friends from... Or are you
No,
guys comedy
no.
buddies?
So weird thing was
Former
so,
podcast guest,
so-
JJ Lieberman.
yeah,
People
former-
will remember.
I'm sure they will. So Ryan and I went to the same university and we took the same program, but I never knew him. We never knew each other at school. I had one class with him, and you don't understand. He used to be such a goof, like even more so because he had like this crazy hair, and he was like in a ska band. So we would be in like an
Jeez.
economics class, and he's just like the one dude who's just like he looked like Jackie Moon kind of a bit, like he looked so out of place. And so I just knew him from this class, and then I was doing stand up for like a year, and then he just like showed up to some like open mic, and I was like talking to him. I was like, hey, we used to go to school together, and then we just started hanging out.
Oh, so pretty early on though, right?
Yeah, pretty early on. And then JJ came along probably like a couple years later, and same thing. And then we started doing the three of us started doing a podcast together. Maybe like 7 years ago.
Oh, wow. Shit, yeah.
8 years ago that ended. It's called Fuckonomics.
Sure, that sounds like a heavy JJ influenced.
It was, well, so here's the thing. JJ's probably gonna be mad that I even say any of this thing. So
I'm sure he'll listen.
Okay, so
I'm sure he'll listen.
He might. I hope so. Fuck you, JJ. But so we started doing the podcast. Used to be. He's better now, but he used to be a real nightmare to deal with as a person. Like he obviously, what kind of nightmare he could be. I'm sure you could use your imagination.
I seen him yell at his dog once, dude. He scared everyone outside the restaurant. It was like a personality switch.
Outside Martha's.
Yeah.
Outside Martha's.
I thought it was kind of funny, like in hindsight, but those girls were legitimately so scared. And then he tried to make it better and he was still yelling. He's like, no, listen, I'm a normal guy. My dog. They're like, okay, please stop.
It's out of control, dude.
So
I
feel like he doesn't. It's like a voice tone thing. Like, hey, you got to lower the tone.
I think in his mind, his all the time he's playing the character of a normal person. So he broke character.
That's so scary. That is
But isn't that more of a reasonable explanation to you?
Yeah. I wonder how many people actually are doing that. Is a scary.
He's just he wakes up in the morning and he just checks his lines for the day.
Dude, I mean, I told you this when I've been with him, and we'll like be walking somewhere, and the amount of people, if people are eating outside, where he just will be like, "Hey, man, what is that?"
He literally bothers people.
Is that good?
Yeah.
They're like, what?
It's the tone. He could do it in a way, but it's like it hits them, and they think it's they're like looking around,
which is crazy too, because like if you're able to get the attention as a crazy person in New York City, that's like this is the majors of crazies.
Oh yeah,
dude. Speaking of. So you've been in New York for how long?
3 years.
3 years. Are you used to 3 years? That's a long time. So you're an old hand at the subway. You take the subway still?
Yeah, of course. That's what I got here today.
Yeah.
I take the subway. I love the subway. It's like I've traveled a bit, and maybe like London is like on par, but this is like basically the best subway system in the world.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
I mean, they've made it obsolete to own a car.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, that's what they're really pushing for.
But they actually accomplished it, I think.
It's pretty good.
I feel like if they stepped it up, like the base is good, but they needed a lot of like cleanup. Like it's not like nice compared to other countries. Like when you go down
it's not. Yeah,
like
it's not nice.
People live down there, and they're
like in London. I went to London like maybe like 10 years ago, and like so we have like buskers, and some of the buskers here are good, but like in London, you're like, oh, that's like a classically trained musician, and they have to apply for licenses and stuff. And they're really good, and they're meant to really like make it more of a pleasant experience, whereas here it's more of like a harrowing experience, I guess.
Like
wait, are you telling me that the guys who are dancing and screaming in your face on the subway don't have licenses?
Unlicensed.
That's
I know.
out of control.
And there's definitely differences in crews. Have you ever seen like I thought it was so like amusing when I first moved here, and then after a while, it starts to age. But then I seen someone get like kicked in the head, and you're like, dude, this is crazy. Like that lady got, because they didn't care. They're like, nah, you're good. She was like holding her head still. I'm like, I don't think she is good. They just don't care.
Who's your favorite type of crazy person you see on the subway?
The defecator.
Oh
yeah, we talk about it. Oh yeah, dude.
I like the defecator.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
My favorite type of crazy person. I generally don't. See, here's the thing. Like, for people who are on the subway sometimes and they don't have headphones in, even if they don't work,
that bothers me so much, dude.
No, I mean, do you? But you're opening yourself up to like so much. Just I don't.
That's me. Oh,
but
a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but you
sometimes,
like it.
Sometimes I'll just be like kind of looking at them like, all right, let's get this going,
Dude, sometimes my phone will be dead and I'll still put my AirPods in.
Oh yeah, I've had people fake it so many times when I had to talk to them, and they were like, I wasn't even listening to anything.
What I don't like, my least favorite person is the person without headphones who's playing full volume.
Yeah.
Something just like a soccer game, just music, and you want to say something, but you're also like, this lunatic is at a level to do that. He has no qualms to just beat the shit out of me.
Of course.
If I give him even a look.
course.
That
That's
happened.
gonna kill me.
Plus, the thing, I don't know if you know this about New York. Are you a native New Yorker?
No, Boston.
You're from Boston. Okay, so, but you're, I guess,
Long Island.
Long Island, right? So the New York thing, I didn't realize this. And I've talked about this many times because it still blows me away to this day, is how commonplace face slashings are
Oh God.
in New York, like on the subway. Like that's like it's an actual thing that happens, specifically in New York, where you get your face slashed.
You know,
I've only heard of one. There's a comic.
There's a comic. Yeah. I know there's a comic.
That's the only story.
And then I was
that
talking to
I've heard.
Kevin Brennan about it, and Kevin Brennan goes, "Yeah, I had my face slashed too, actually."
Is this like a
Holy shit.
religious thing or
No, it's just like a Peaky Blinders.
A religious thing.
I don't know. It just sounded like
Okay,
something.
well, tell us which religion, Mike.
I was gonna say like
Just
a
we get on
Middle
this
East. I hear
podcast.
like Middle Eastern. I was thinking like, is this like because they were out of line?
Kevin Brennan told me it's a gang thing,
Oh, even
but
worse.
it's
Even
just
worse, yeah.
I think it's a prison thing. Like, what's the movie with Tupac?
Yeah, because they can't get.
What was the
well,
movie with
that's,
Tupac from the 90s?
Juice.
Juice, I think you're right. Juice,
Yeah.
and the kid always had the razor blade in his cheek.
That's a New York. That is an
That's
old
it's-
New York.
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. It's like a New York thing.
You'll hear "razor under my tongue" in a
Yes.
rap song,
Right.
the old rap song.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, but people get face like, dude, I would go right when I moved here. I remember I would like be at the gym and they'd have Spectrum News on, like local news, and they're just like one after another. It's like every day someone's getting their fucking face slashed.
Dude.
Oh, that's trash.
That's fucking. Have you ever seen a good fight? A good New York fight on the streets?
Crazy enough, no.
Really?
Oh, dude, I've
All-
seen so many.
Yeah. Have you seen
Harlem. I've seen, and you know what? These were, I would also say respect, like kind of. Like there was they didn't stomp them out. It was they were slugging, bare knuckle slugging. Like I had
that's
respect for
fine.
both of them.
Yeah.
And there was crews, and they didn't really, they broke it. It was cool.
Yeah,
But
like
I've
there was
never,
like
I didn't
a-
even see that in Boston at that level. Dude, this was on like 125th in the street, middle of the day.
Nice.
Just like,
I saw literally like a 14-year-old get the shit kicked out of him by a child, or 14-year-olds, and then I stayed with him while the
That's tough.
ambulance came.
Really?
Oh, man.
Was
It
that
was
in
like-
New York?
It was like right beside my house. Like I was walking home. Like it was one of those things where I would have done nothing had I been able to, but it was like too aggressive to
He's
do
like,
nothing at that point.
sir, with the hoodie,
Yeah.
who just turned
Please.
away. No, please come back.
Please. And I was like, my food's hot though.
you're like
Dude.
complaining to the kid on the ground. You're like, you're really screwing my dinner up right now.
God, dude.
Really, you fucking me, kid? Okay, but I'll stay with you. He was fine though. He just it was like a bunch of piece of shit. Like I don't know, teenagers. Just
Yeah,
beating him up.
I hate that attack, that like dog attack shit. That's why I
It was
like
men
the-
and women. He got stumped by boys and girls.
Oh, if you don't get it, you can't underestimate females in this game. I seen a girl, actually speaking of slashing, the other girl was much bigger. She was on top of her, but this other girl you could tell was tough. And she had a razor in her shoe, and she bopped her, hit her in the face.
So then
But-
you have seen face
Wow.
slashing.
Yes, but not on the subway. This was now,
Oh no, I'm not gonna say it's a subway specific thing. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
New York thing that happens on the subway.
Yeah, now in this case, the other girl was so much bigger. I don't know who started what. You're almost like, well, at that point,
You're rooting for the little
like
one.
she
the
could,
razor blade's the great equalizer.
yeah,
is what you're
obviously
saying.
she has this like in her shoe all the time, so it's like a life or death
Yeah.
situation. I
Yeah.
hate. How do you guys feel? I hate seeing girls fight.
It's one of those things in your head. You think you like it.
It's not.
That you like the idea of like a girl fight, but when you see it in reality, I mean, it's brutal.
I don't know if
The
I've
hair
ever...
pulling. It's not like.
Oh,
I've
it's
seen them in videos. I don't know.
It's brutal.
Honestly, I'm so like I don't know if I'm just New York has jaded me, but I've maybe walked by one and not even noticed it because I just got my head down, just minding my
did.
own business and just head down.
Now I keep thinking about, well, this is a couple weeks ago, but you saw the kid up in Harlem who got shot by the homeless guy because he asked him for money and the guy said no.
No.
He was like a Swedish tourist or something.
Oh, I heard about that.
And
Oh, yeah.
and the guy was like, apparently said like, give me some money. And the guy was like, no. And he shot him in the back, the homeless guy.
That's
And I'm
crazy.
like, fuck, if that's the way to get shot in New York, I should be getting shot 25 times a day.
Yeah,
The homeless
I
guy
mean,
had-
I would like to tell this homeless man that you catch more flies with honey, sir.
Yeah, but also it's like he had the gun. Why is he still begging for change? Shouldn't he be stepping up his like?
I mean, if you're willing to
should
murder,
be
why not
committing
rob?
robberies.
that's what I'm saying.
Like if you're willing to murder, yeah, that's a very.
He's like, I'm asking for change. I'm like, you got the gun.
Are you saying that this homeless person suffered from some logic problems? He was unable to rationalize having this gun.
Yeah. Are you saying that he's unable to take the next step forward
Yeah.
and really better his life?
But I'll tell you this: I support him having that illegal. No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to see the gun he has too.
Oh my God. I wonder if it's like a revolver
Oh, it's
or
a
like
piece
a
of
real
crap.
legit, like,
It's probably some piece of crap.
There's
street
enough
gun.
to kill this tourist.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, these street guns will still do.
I do. I will say, living in New York, though, I confront my mortality on a near daily basis.
I think about that a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting for a subway. I'm like, maybe someone pushes me from the subway.
Yeah.
that I'm always cautious of.
You know what the big one is? Like, in my opinion, maybe I don't know if it's the worst way to go, but you're just on a corner and just a car takes you out.
Oh.
Just like standing on a corner and just a car swerves and just like clips everybody just standing on the corner. And everybody's so aggressive trying to get in the streets here, right? So you're like really right on the curb.
That's that. Yeah.
You ever come close to walking right in front of a bike? It's like a set. You just, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and then the bike just comes down.
I've been the biker in that scenario like 50 times.
Dude, I know people who've been
dude,
hit I've been hit by 3 different bikes. They're like they're like 3 different terrible injuries. I'm like, you got to leave this city. It's killing you.
Well, just fucking head on a swivel. This is like, you gotta be.
You do have to have your head on a
Look
swivel.
both ways. This is elementary shit.
Are you? Is this a city bike?
City
guy?
bike, yeah,
Okay.
city bike.
Not like a real biker.
No.
A cyclist. Dude, I cannot.
I would
stand
own a
cyclists.
bicycle, except for that. My last place was a 5th floor walk up. And also, they just get stolen. I
They
imagine.
get
Like I had a
stolen,
bike in
left and
I had a
right,
bike
dude.
in Toronto, and then like I constantly just this whole thing of like you get a bike, get stolen, get a new bike, get stolen.
Yeah.
Is Toronto? Is there? I've been there once. Is there a lot of crime there?
There's more than people think because people think there's zero.
Yeah. Before I went, I imagined it as like, you know, Canada. It's very friendly. Everyone's super nice. And then I went and I was like, oh, this is just like a regular city.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
is just a
okay.
regular city. Yeah, there's plenty of crime. There's shootings on the daily.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
more than here. I mean, we have-
No.
You don't think?
Dude, our shootings are so high.
No. I mean, they're not reporting every shooting.
No, I'm not
in
even
New
close.
York City.
I was 2 weeks in a row. I've
only
worked
reporting
in,
the murders.
I've worked in Harlem
good
2
point.
weeks in a row, and I went to go to get a bagel. This is like a nice part of Harlem. Did the whole block, and now I know what they are. Those little cones, those are bullet cones. It was like someone sprayed the whole block.
Oh,
out.
wow.
Shit.
The week before, same thing.
Yeah.
Middle of the day, someone just.
I
sprayed
will
the block.
say that when gun crime happens in Toronto, generally, not always, because I actually know someone who's somewhat personally affected by this, but generally it seems like the people deserve it. Like it's not like in the sense that like it's gang on gang crime. It's not like random
not
people.
random.
It's not like random
Yeah.
like this guy gets shot by a homeless person. That does not happen.
Yeah.
It's just like gang violence against other gangs and
Yeah. Or like, you know, someone cuts someone off in traffic. They obviously deserve it. Someone. You know.
I will
bump someone
I'll
in the
chip in on the
shoulder.
GoFundMe on that person's fucking lawyer.
Bail fund. Yeah.
Yeah, the bail fund.
You ever heard this argument? Well, I'm from Boston, so you almost hear like old timers like, "Yeah, we need the mob back," right?
Good.
I mean, there is there
They
is
do
something to
keep
be
it
said.
organized,
They
like-
keep like law and order when the police are unable to.
Like if that's their block or a decent block and you spray it up, that will be taken care of and it won't happen again.
Absolutely.
Like you don't. This kind of like free for all.
But if you're a small business owner, then you have to pay protection. So.
Yeah, then you're getting shaken down by your ankles.
True.
That's why the UFC moved out of Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I did
They
hear
walked
that.
in during class. The whole crew.
Yeah, I did
They
hear
just
that.
like walked in. What's the guy who runs the UFC? His
Dana
name?
White.
Dana White was like teaching class, and the goons walked in. They're like, "Yeah, we need to talk to you." He's like, "Could you wait till after class?" Everyone's looking at him. They're like, "Yeah, we need $5,000 by tomorrow." And
For
he was like,
protection.
"This is back in the day." So he's like, $5,000, dude. That's like impossible. So he moved like the next day.
That's crazy.
He moved to Vegas, started UFC.
Did I tell you? I used to live in the North End, you know, and there was still like this is in like 2012, 13. There was still a little bit of a mafia scene in Boston before like that last guy got arrested. Do you remember
Was
that?
that Whitey Bulger?
No, it was like the Italian
North
family,
End is the
right?
is the small Italian. That's the whole Italian. mob.
So I will say, like, there are no homeless people in the North End. There's like one guy who they like let beg because I think he's like a member of someone's family.
Sure.
But dude, I lived above this like clubhouse, and I remember when I rented the apartment, the people who were showing, they're like, "Yeah," I was like, "Oh, is this a bar?" And they were like, "Never go in there." And then when we moved in, my parents are helping me move in, and all of these just like it was like Goodfellas, you know? They're all hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, welcome to the building." And I'm like, my dad's chumming it up with these guys, and he's like, "Hey, your son will be very well taken care of."
Cool. Yeah.
Dude, a year later, I had two guys like sublet the other rooms. I had no idea they were moving in. I didn't know until they moved in that they were like, yeah, a week before we were moving here, I read this news story that right downstairs, the FBI raided the clubhouse, Dude, they raided the clubhouse. They arrested like all these dudes. I had no idea until
Really?
they told me about that.
Oh.
It was like 5 days earlier, and it was all like.
And I bet that neighborhood's gone to shit since.
Dude, tons of homeless, you know? And I used to say, I was like, that guy, you know, real nice guy. He used to ask me how I was doing all the time, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we need, people. We need the mafia back.
Good food.
Good food.
Good food and good morals.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, listen, you know, they just.
Well, why don't you say that to their face then?
All right.
Yeah, you'd be floating with
Swimming.
concrete shoes.
Okay, whatever. None of us know any of the
You know.
proper terminology.
No, that's right.
Yeah, concrete shoes.
I think it's more common in later
Cement?
years. They just put you into a metal drum. That's really like the metal drum.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
Some lake just dried up, and they're finding all these metal drums.
Oh, yeah.
It's like canned humans. It's like, what's in there? Oh, that's a body. That's disgusting.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that. There was
Lake Mead, I think.
Yeah, there was a where was I just at? I was somewhere.
Yeah,
I
you were in
forget now.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
one
I
of your
was-
many vacations that you're.
All right, you
been
know,
on.
I just travel a lot, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a world traveler, you know.
Yeah, man.
Family vacations. Have you ever been arrested?
I got, not really, no.
No. Okay. Have you ever gotten into like almost arrested trouble? No.
I got busted with like some weed when I was like in high school.
Okay,
In
all right.
what's the deal in Canada? Was that a big deal or no?
At the time it was, yeah.
Yeah. It was a big deal when it could be a big deal when.
I mean, dude, you know what the craziest thing is me and Ryan went to New York, or not to New York, to Miami last year. And then we left. We went for a month to Miami to work. And then we came back and weed was just legal here. It was like, and when we left, it was super illegal.
Yeah.
And then we
dude.
came back and it was completely legal.
Yeah.
It's almost too legal.
Well, now what's happening is what happened.
It big time too legal.
No. So now what's happening here is exactly what happened in Canada, in Toronto. So in Toronto or Canada, whatever, Justin Trudeau, his first time getting, the blackface guy?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I know a lot about him.
So the first time getting
Real
elected,
attractive prime minister.
First time getting elected, his main thing was he goes, "I'm going to make weed legal." That was his like number one promise.
Okay.
And then he did it. Like he actually followed through. He made weed totally legal, like federally legal in the whole country, right? Which is great. Honestly, I think it's totally great, right? So then they're like, it's just like here, it's province by province in terms of like how to sell the weed and stuff.
Okay.
So then they in Ontario, they were like, we're going to start rolling out. We're going to be giving licenses to places. But but weed was already legal. But then we're like, it's starting in, maybe 18 months because it's going to take some time for us to figure it out. And then all these places are like, yeah, we're good. We're just going to open now. So then all these places, dude, like Toronto, like out of fucking nowhere, it's the same things happening here where you're just like, they're not even like head shops. They're just like, we sell weed.
Dude,
On Bedford, they were. That's even crazier.
The
on
tables
Bedford,
and vans.
They have vans.
Yeah.
So people don't know in
Dude.
Brooklyn, like they just have vans, like old school buses and like vans, and people just straight up have like a table like this. They just set it up and they just put weed.
Dude, it's nuts.
In Greenwich, people just walk around with jars of weed,
Oh, dude.
huge jars.
Washington Square Park, the open air weed market.
Yeah, it's like it's actually taken over to the point you're like, dude, can we have like put them you know what I mean? It's like the whole thing is a weed market.
So no, and it's not going to stop. So what happened in like Ontario or whatever, Toronto is like, so people were like, this is fucking crazy. Like there's just these dispensaries everywhere. They're not operating legally, but it's like I knew someone who was working on one, and they're making like $50,000 a day.
Wow.
Oh, you make so much more money.
Wow.
before the government gets their
Crazy
hands
amount
on
of
it.
money because it was in this gray area. Because now
Holy
that it's
shit.
totally opened up and like anybody can get a license, they're already starting to close. Because they're like, they can't make money because they had set up this whole system where you can only buy it from the government. And so like, they just like can't make money. But at the time it was all gray, like black market kind of shit.
If you had it, you could sell it.
Dude, it got to the point where it was so crazy. So the police would do these raids. They would shut them all down because there was like 100 in the city. They would shut all the big ones down or a lot of them down. And then they just like reopen the next morning, right? And they would just, because their whole thing was like, look, you can take us to court or whatever. One, it's like if we get convicted, like whatever, it's like it's really not illegal anymore.
Yeah.
It's like gray area, but like we're making so much money. They're like, if I have to get charged,
You can like cover
if
the
I
court.
no, they're like, I'm gonna make enough money to be set for life. If you want to give me a fucking weed charge, like when it's already legal, like sure,
Yeah.
whatever, who cares? But then so the police would, because these places kept opening, is they would get those, those massive anti-terrorism cement
Oh, yeah.
bricks that
yeah.
they're like this high.
Yeah.
right? They're for like literally to stop like a car ramming or something. They would go and they would stack them up in front of the entrance of the place. So like literally you couldn't even see the front. And one time they locked somebody inside. Somebody was inside.
Oh, bro.
And
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but then the places would go and they would get their own forklift. And they would move them and just be open. So like you'd go to some like dispensary and you just see the door and the rest would be these fucking cement bricks. It was just like this crazy cat and mouse thing to the point where the police just gave up.
Dude. I mean, that's what's happening here.
That's what's going to happen
They're
here.
They're making dolo right now. This is the
ka-ching. Real gold rush, because once it gets like proper regulated and everything, like they're not paying taxes, nothing. It's just like all this gray market thing.
Wait, are you telling me that the guy with a table in the park is not paying taxes?
No, but you know what?
On his cash business?
Yeah, but in Toronto, all these places were like, we'd love to be able to pay taxes. But I don't think they really meant that. They were just saying that to be like, hey, if we could, we would.
Yeah.
It's ruining it in California. Actually, most of the dispensaries, they have their legit, but they have to sell bud like the other way to make money. They're like, we don't make any money because they're so heavily taxed.
Like,
it's
that's
like
what's happening
ridiculous.
now too. In Ontario, they're like, because at first they gave like for the whole province, which is 10 million people or something, they gave like 10 licenses or 20 licenses, and they were like, this is nowhere near enough. So then
it's like what they did in Boston,
right? And then so after that, they're like, they just made unlimited licenses. So then all the people were like, now it's just like nobody can really make much money. It's now it's become like, you might as well be selling fucking tomatoes or something like.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen now people have gotten because now weed is like the thing, right? So everyone's selling weed. You've seen people selling like crack. Right?
Oh,
Didn't you see that?
This was during
at a table.
At a table. This was like peak times. I was doing shows up in Times Square. When was this during the pandemic? It was
COVID,
like total lawlessness, but
summer
people were back
2020.
out. But there was no rules. Like the cops, I remember watching cops sitting on a wall like while crimes, and they're like, they're like, we can't. I don't want to get So this guy, they all had weed tables. This is like there was a shooting that day on that road. So like there's mad cops. And I see weed, and I'm like, oh, man, weed. And then this one guy had blue meth crystals, but like organized on a table. And I didn't go up to him because I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I should have now had the balls to be like, dude, what's going on here? Like there'd been.
I'm sure he'd be like.
There was cops. Like I'm like looking at cops and I'm looking at this. I'm like, this can't be real. And he's just selling meth, or I don't know what it was. It could have been anything.
Yeah. You know what the weirdest thing too about New York that's different is like in Ontario for the dispensaries. They said like, if you've ever been arrested for weed, you can't open one. And here they're giving priority if you've been arrested.
To be fair, it's like, hey man, you knew the business early on.
I know, but that is just such a weird.
And there's a racial part on ours, which is like not.
We have racism. Like we have the same shit.
That shit ain't legal. I don't know why no one ever brings that to court. But like, you can't do this. You can't be like, it's but whatever.
Yeah,
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Well,
what's the name? You should do your own podcast called White Man's Burden.
Forget.
Did you ever see that movie?
No, but I'm gonna watch it.
It's a great movie with John Travolta.
Is it?
It was John Travolta. I think Harry Belafonte from the '90s. I think it was a remake, but it was essentially like imagine a world where literally the whole premise is imagine a world where black people and white people switch. You switch like white people were slaves. Black people were in charge, blah, blah, blah. And and then it's just like modern day white. It's called White Man's Burden.
What was the movie back in the day? We had the same one with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Trading Places. That was not the same. No. Yeah, that was way different.
Why? What was different?
Well, that's Dan Aykroyd is he's rich, and then these two investment barons basically make a bet that they can't turn this guy.
Oh, I thought
they make this crazy bet, and so
I thought they switched bodies in that.
No.
That was Freaky Friday.
He woke up
You're thinking
black.
about Freaky Friday with.
I thought. I haven't even seen
Lindsay
the movie.
Lohan.
I thought Dan Aykroyd woke up as black Eddie Murphy, and then Eddie Murphy woke up as Dan Aykroyd.
No, and honestly, the fact is, you've clearly never seen this movie, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Trading Places is a fucking awesome movie.
That was a Chris Rock movie.
It was an Aaron. I know it because I know the director. I know, and that was his credit. I was like, I used to make. He ran for president like a couple times.
Who's that?
Aaron Russo.
Oh, okay.
He was like he was
ran
a big
for president.
He ran for president. He was pretty well known. He was a big.
Never even heard of him.
Yeah, because he's dead now. But he was like kind of the vert before Alex Jones.
Okay.
But he's not like Alex Jones. He was just a guy that like certain things happened to, and he started speaking out against it.
Okay.
Kind of a more naive.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was it.
Anyways, Trading Places is a great movie. Highly recommend.
Aaron Russo, check him out.
The White Man's Burden, different thing.
That's so funny, dude. I would listen to that, Kerrigan. If you did
there's
that solo every
there's
week.
definitely a market for it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there is.
Kerrigan can talk about all the ways that women have wronged him.
They don't wrong me, but because I don't talk to a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually, this is something, I don't know what it'll be, a dating coach. There's a thing where women want, like, you ever met a girl, because I don't approach a ton of girls. I know there's girl, and they wanted me to approach them.
Of course.
Because they wanted to reject me. And that's why, you know what I mean?
I don't know about
what
that.
The hell?
That's the conspiracy brain in you.
I think, yeah.
No, I think that's a legit thing, because they're like, I was thinking about women get hit on so much.
No, they don't anymore. That's the problem.
Anymore,
We
but
were
they
talking
used
about
to.
this the other day.
Yeah,
to.
it's true.
Now they want people. Nobody is approaching them because everybody's on online dating.
Well, we know a couple.
Well,
approachers.
that's the thing is I've had a lot of success now approaching people in real life.
Yeah.
Because and meeting people in real life.
There's no
because
competition.
Nobody talks to people.
Yeah, there's no competition anymore. It used
And
to
I
be.
shouldn't be saying this on the pod because I don't want it to influence the way that I'm talking to to
you,
ladies.
You think this podcast has so much influence?
Oh my God.
That you're like next time you go to a bar and there's just like every guy's talking to every girl. You go, God damn it!
What the fuck?
Keep
dude?
your mouth shut, Dylan.
Oh my God! It might happen. It might. We never know.
No, I think it's a thing that girls will attest to. They're like, yeah, I wanted to. That was the guy. I wanted to be like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
No, I don't think so.
No,
No.
I think I disagree.
I
think it's a thing.
I think that's poisoning your mind to talk to women.
It's
though.
only certain women. It's not a majority. But
What do they
certain
look
ones.
like?
They're not happy. They're not happy. I'll give you that much. You know?
They don't look happy.
No, they don't look happy. Barely straight. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
Like, there's a girl, and you meet them, they're just hanging on by a thread.
So why do you want to talk to them?
I don't. But I just know.
So
I
let
know
them
they
be.
want me to be like, hey,
Oh.
maybe I'll do it just to test.
Yeah,
it.
you should.
And I'll probably end up.
You should go get like a hat cam. Like, why don't you make this a series
Probably
where
end
you
up with
talk
a
to
mean girlfriend after this.
that would be pretty
Weird,
good.
but here's the
actually.
thing. So here's the premise: is you have to guess in advance who is gonna. Actually, that's probably pretty easy.
They got to
guess
take
who's gonna
joy
be able
in
to
it, though.
shut
Oh,
you
yeah.
down.
They have to take joy in the rejection because the rejection's fine.
Yeah.
But it's got to be the one where you can tell they savor it.
Yeah,
That'll be tough to
I wonder if
quantify.
I think I could pick them.
But that'll be tough to quantify if they're savoring it.
You have to get a good look at the eyes and smile when they walk
or
away.
the hair. I wonder
they
if this
grinning when
woman
they
with
walk
purple
away?
hair is going to be excited to reject Mike.
They're more of
Yeah.
a.
I'm sure.
They're more like get the hell away from. They're not. I think the blue hair lets you know. They're like,
Yeah.
can you see the hair?
Yeah, that's
One of our buddies. It's like his thing. He's like Artie with the blue haired. I don't know. Something specifically happened. You can tell, but we don't know what it is. He can't stand him.
He doesn't like them.
No, he's got a big
They're
problem.
generally a bunch of woke scolds.
Yeah.
Usually woke what?
Woke scolds.
Woke scolds?
Scolds. They scold you.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Woke scold. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like those. Woke
No.
scold. You know what? But on the opposite, I don't like the conservative scold either.
No, nobody likes getting scolded.
I just don't like getting scolded.
No.
But I just see it.
Conservative scolding generally looks like Mike.
Yeah, I felt like and that's the way it was when I
Listen,
grew up.
dude, once all these people take off their costumes and they reveal that they're reptiles, then you'll know. You'll know I've been right the whole
Dude,
time.
First of all, I'm not a big reptile.
No. Are you a big Alex Jones guy?
No, I was big into Alex Jones like years ago.
Like when he was on like
I had a shirt and stuff,
Waking Life.
and I remember going to what was it?
Did you ever see that movie, Waking Life?
No,
The
I think
cartoon, and he's like the crazy cartoon movie.
Alex Jones.
It's animated, and he has a scene in it. And it's all it's really a pretty good movie. He's animated, and he's all like in his truck yelling, but it was like from the 90s or something. I don't know. It was good though.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It might be not good, and I was just like high throughout all of high school. So
That sounds wild. You were into him way before me, but yeah, I used to like Alex.
Interesting. I'll tell you this. I told you this, right? I think I might have told you this too. I went to, it was my mom's birthday a couple weeks ago, so I got her tickets to big Fox News person, as most people on Long Island
as
are.
most people should be.
Well, I got her tickets, and we went to a taping of the Greg Gutfeld show.
Fuck off.
I swear
You
to
did
God,
not tell
dude.
me this.
I didn't.
No.
Dude, it was actually, I don't watch the show. I'm not a Fox News guy, but I went and I was like, this is a nice thing. We went to dinner. It was great. And she had a great time. It was awesome. It was very fun. And it's something that made her happy. So I'm happy to do that. You know? But dude, it was kind of hilarious, dude. I dressed up. I had like a collared shirt on because it's a taping. You know, you got to do it, dude. I showed up and we're waiting in line. Dude, there were more T-shirts with guns on them
of course.
than there weren't T-shirts with guns on them.
Absolutely.
This is in the middle of downtown Manhattan, right? Or Midtown.
Well, those
Midtown
must be
Manhattan.
all tour. That must be like a tour. You come from like middle of the country, seen fucking
It was so funny,
all the queers in New York City, and we're going to go check out a Gutfeld
You see a
tape.
30-foot hand head, and they just walk towards it. They're like,
There was a dude. There was an older man behind me with his wife, and he had an Alabama hat on. And we're walking in, and he kind of says it like to us, but like to himself, you know. And he's like, "Wow, I'm glad to see that there's so many conservatives in New York City." And I was like, "What? This 100 people in New York that none of them live here?"
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Dude, it was wild.
Yeah,
Also,
my girlfriend's parents love Gutfeld. And
I think most people
Ryan,
over the age
like
of 50
he
love
follows
Gutfeld.
he like follows us and stuff, and he asked Ryan to go on there, and Ryan said no, and then
Really?
and then my girlfriend's mom found out about it, and she's like cannot believe it. She's like, why would he say no?
He would kill on there.
Yeah, it's just a whole weird. You just like it. Yeah, you would, but it's just too much of like a specifically right wing thing.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be like.
It is. I did know a lot of the jokes. It is funny, like how like some of the jokes, like depending on who it is.
Yeah.
I noticed because it's like a panel show. So like they had a comic on. I forget his name, but he was really good. Like he crushed. But you can tell like some of the jokes are so just like heavy-handed and easy and like almost like hacky.
Yeah,
Almost.
like every
Bro, they're
well,
the
it's like,
most
but-
hacky.
But it's like
murder, dude.
Yeah, like every
murder.
But it's like all the other late night shows.
Yeah,
The same thing, just the other side of the coin.
But dude, it was wild. It was a wild experience, fun. And I'll tell you, when we were
I
waiting
like
to go
Gutfeld.
in, oh yeah, I think he's killing it.
Yeah.
Guy who really pulled himself up by his bootstraps. And
I mean, he's literally has the biggest. Granted, he's up against 5, but his show gets more numbers than
it is.
any
It's the
individual
biggest
show,
late night show.
which is insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, I said that it's kind of tough because he's the only one for like a Republican base where everyone else is splitting like that, like
Yeah, like if you combine them all.
left kind of. Yeah,
Were you sad to learn that Trevor Noah is leaving the Daily Show?
is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, why? The numbers?
I mean, it doesn't do good ratings. Like I looked at the ratings recently. I think it does like 400,000 an episode, which we know people with podcasts who do better than that.
All those
That's
networks
crazy.
shouldn't even, like, if you were just going by like old school numbers, would have been all under. They're cleaning house all across the board. Don Lemon. I think they're looking at it now. They're like, we can't continue this.
Oh,
model.
yeah.
Well, but they have those spots, so it's like those time slots. Someone has to go in them.
Yeah,
like
I guess.
CNN's not going back to just like 9 p.m.
I wonder who they're
Just
going
an
to get.
hour of buzz. I wonder.
You're a little younger, but you're like I used to remember when I was probably I don't know 10. I used to always watch Saturday Night Live, and I would always fall asleep during Saturday Night Live, and I would always wake up to because they were
Dude.
just like they just chose not to put anything on the TV.
Dude.
That was when there was like actual just dead.
I don't think I ever experienced, maybe once, because I do have a little bit of a memory of that. But yeah, it was always, I would wake up to, that was always a concern. If I fell asleep watching something on like HBO and then waking up and there was like porn on the TV, like that was like Taxi Cab Confessions or something. And I was like, oh, I'm like 12. I'm like, turn it off before someone finds me.
Yeah, that was like before even infomercials bought that dead airtime. They just
Yeah.
would prefer the dead airtime.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude.
Is that a tap water in a Poland Spring bottle?
Yeah.
I knew it. I don't know why. I could just tell by the look at the color of that water.
Oh,
All right,
dude.
don't judge me, man.
Honestly, I don't want to put him on blast like this, but Ryan at our studio, if you watch, not even exaggerating, watch the last 15 episodes of the Boys Cast, which is we're talking spanning this is 4 months, and he's been using the exact same Poland Spring bottle, which is all like crumpled. He lost the cap for it.
I mean, you can
probably 2 months ago, the cap went missing, so there's no cap.
Dude, that plastic's degrading.
Dude,
Every time he drinks it, he's
you
drinking
can see-
plastic.
well, I'll just drink it all day because 4 of these is a gallon.
Yeah.
You know? So, but yeah, it's getting a little.
No. Like
weathered
the
and
one that
frayed.
that looks like brand new compared to the one Ryan's been drinking out of. Like to the point where people are starting to comment on it because
Hey,
it's
he's
like,
got like a physician. Like, no, seriously.
no,
bro.
it's clearly just the same bottle.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, they say it's really
like
bad.
I have like a Nalgene bottle. Like I had an Nalgene. I just brought it into the studio because like I just want because I drink the tap. I got nothing against tap water. New York actually has pretty good tap water.
New York Tap is great, dude.
Like taste wise,
Yeah,
legitimately like tastes pretty good. Relatively, like doesn't have that chlorine taste. You hate it?
We'll get into this.
Mike's a big.
Shot it as the what's it?
It's there's many problems in New York.
Thing?
New York tap water's not. If you live, it depends on what building you're in. But I've worked in the building, so like if you're above a certain floor, it's coming out of that tank.
Yeah,
and those tanks, bro, it's unbelievable. I don't know why people don't get sick. There's like there's pigeons in
the
them.
Tanks, dude.
There's pigeons.
That's where I thought they all come from ground. It's all groundwater.
It goes ground, but if you live in a building with a certain amount of levels, a certain like from the top down, they pump it up into that big tank on the roof, and it comes down. Like
what's the teeth stuff again? I can't remember.
Fluoride. I'm anti-fluoride.
Anti-fluoride.
I've been fluoride free for like 10 years.
Really?
I have a filter tank system.
Fluoride's great for you. It
let me ask you a little nature question. Where do you get your fluoride in nature? Which fruits contain fluoride?
My toothpaste, dude.
You know where they get it? They get it from aluminum manufacturing. The guys have to wear a hazmat suit to load it into the water. It's so deadly.
See, this is the kind of shit I wanted on this podcast.
You can see,
this is why I came.
Let's get Mike going.
Let's get in the fluoride. All
fluoride.
Right?
I mean, do we want to go back to where?
How are your teeth?
My teeth are great.
Okay, because that's the thing with the
brittle.
No, my teeth are great. I've been to the dentist in. I hadn't been in 10 years. I went to. Well, I'll tell you this story. I went to a bad dentist, and I knew he was bad because I looked down.
They're
he was
all
like,
bad.
He was joking too much, like in my mouth, and I'm like, he's in my mouth. I'm like, dude, shut up. And I looked down. He has like leather snake cowboy boots. My mom recommended. I'm like, dude, who is this guy? Some joker. And he called someone in. He goes, get in here. I want you to see this kid's teeth. He's like, how long? When's the last time you went to the dentist? I go 10 years ago. He goes, look at this. They all go, I can't believe it. They're like, you have the best teeth we've ever seen. But then I did go to another real dentist. He's like, you have 7 cavities. But I was floating. When I left there, I thought I had invincible teeth. I was like, I'm going to start eating candy and just falling asleep in bed.
Yeah.
And
then turns out that
he was lying. He's just running like some sort of scheme. He had like a Jeep Wrangler with like a canoe on outside. He's one of those, you know what I mean? You're like,
this was in New York?
No, this is Boston.
Boston, okay.
Yeah, of course. Dentists are tough. You never know if they're scamming.
The fluoride's a weird one because people obviously say that what is it? Fucks with your like pineal gland.
It's originally used by Hitler.
Your third eye, but then also, and it's originally used by Hitler.
It dulls you. It makes you. What's the word? It dulls you down, like intelligence wise, and it makes you more like conformed. You conform easier on large doses.
But how do you like? The thing is, so you were drinking some sort of like kombucha drink when we got here.
Yeah,
there's certainly fluoride in that.
There very well could be.
There's 100% fluoride in that.
Possibly. The only thing with kombucha.
Fucking
and
sheep.
beer is they have to let it kind of brew, and if you use tap water and you're trying to make this brew, the chlorine will kill that.
Right.
So they might have to filter it just for that reason.
But
I assume every time I drink,
yeah, like bodega coffee, any coffee,
anything.
Yeah, you're getting fluoride.
Oh yeah, they're pumping it.
It's pretty hard to avoid just because it's in the tap water. There was one near where Ryan and I went to school. It's called Kitchener, Ontario, and they actually somehow managed to they removed fluoride from the water supply.
Really?
Yeah, they're like one of a handful of municipalities in North America that's done that.
It's the only thing that they've ever really done the way they do it. It's supposed to be like it's like an involuntary drug. Like it's not a nutrition. It's not in anything you'd normally eat. So it's like
I wonder why. Truly though, not like the conspiracy theory of like
no. The reason that they give is because
why.
it like hardens your teeth's enamel or whatever, and just like it's straight up just for dental health.
Like
that's the reason they give.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
I don't know if I buy that. I don't know with all the other
I love
things
that
that
this
they
is turning
could be
into
doing.
a conspiracy podcast now.
Oh, we want to get
every 10 episodes.
You know a lot of conspiracies?
I don't know a lot. I know a decent amount. So on Low Value Mail, I do a conspiracy episode like probably once a month. So we have people calling in and dropping their conspiracies. So I'm learning more and more. Like I'm into conspiracies, but I'm not like crazy into them.
I know a lot.
But I have some of my listeners are like
into it. I like hearing about them, but I don't necessarily know if I believe them.
No,
but sometimes
it's
I'm
not
like,
about believing.
That
them.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not even about believing them. It's more just like a fun thing.
It makes you think. Like when I first heard flat Earth, right? I was like, this is so ridiculous, and I still thought it was ridiculous. And then some guy in a video asked like a question, and I realized I have no way of proving that it's not. You know what I mean? When it came down to it, I go, wait, I don't believe it.
Yeah. But I still was like, wait a minute. Like I'm going on 100% faith.
Like I don't believe it. Yeah. But I still was like, wait a minute. Like I don't believe it. Yeah. But I still was like, wait a minute. Like I still was like, wait a minute. Like I was, I'm going on 100% faith that it is what I've seen. And I was like, how the hell are we going to prove it? And then I was like looking for a while. I'm like, somebody should be proving this. And it's like not
proving flat Earth,
proving that it's not flat.
I mean, it's literally the most idiotic concept because, and I'm sure 2 people who are listening to this are like, you fucking rube. But so
it'd be funny if Danny's going to go flat way. He's like, there's no way it's round.
No, because if you think about flying, so it's like if you fly from LA or say you fly from New York to Sydney, Australia, you literally need the pilots to be in on this conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, like the premise is that there's an edge on each side, right?
That's the part that I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of the
stupid.
Flat. Yeah,
this is the one.
Are they saying there's a glass dome?
No. This is the one that I heard that the flat thing. So they say that Antarctica, the reason we're not allowed there, it's not like a circle at the bottom of the Earth, but it's almost like a wall around.
Yeah, it's a wall of ice around. Yeah.
So eventually, if you get to Antarctica, you hit a wall. Exactly.
Yeah.
You hit the wall of Antarctica, and beyond there's more.
I'm just saying,
Earth.
when you take a flight to Australia and you pull up that little flight map thing, that's a lie. The pilots are lying, or they're being duped by Big Earth or whatever. You know what I mean?
Earth, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing has to be concocted
these
in order.
These round earthers. There's probably a whole thing. They probably got a nickname for them. But one of the things I was like,
but I still love it. Do you ever see the documentary on Netflix and the guy makes the tables?
It's with the holes, and he like proves
No, they're
himself
these
wrong.
really cool tables that this guy makes, these flat Earth tables, and it's essentially just like it's a flat Earth, but he makes them into these like cool tables with this like kind of epoxy like resin thing that says they're like pretty badass tables.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, but
I'm into
it's idiotic otherwise.
I saw one video of this guy where he proves himself wrong. Like he's a big flat earther, and he's like, listen, this is how you do it. And something like you set up a hole and shine a light through, and if it's flat earth, it's like 17 or 23 feet, and then you should be able to see like the mirror of the guy holding up. And he's like, if it's flat, it'll be at his face. But if it's a round earth, it'll be, if he holds it above his head, you'll be able to see the light.
I mean,
and
again,
in
like
real time, dude.
What is happening with all these, like Elon Musk shoots a fucking satellite into space every day. Where are those going if the Earth is flat?
Exactly. They're just circling. It's like gravity doesn't work the way we think. I don't know. But dude, it's so funny because the guy's holding it and he's looking through the light. He's looking through the hole. He's like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay. Oh, put it above your head a little higher, and then you see it.
I know,
and he goes,
yeah.
all right. Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, well,
real time.
my whole identity and everything I thought I knew is now.
Some guy made himself a like a hot air balloon. He died.
Yeah.
That was, or was it
Oh,
a rocket?
the rocket, dude.
I love
If you die proving that the Earth is round, that in like now, that's like if you died proving the Earth is round 200 years ago, you'd be like, okay, we didn't know. Now you die proving the Earth is round, hilarious.
I love that he built
So
the
funny.
rocket and everything. I just wish he didn't die. That was the bad part. I love people who do that. There was a guy who was going to jump the Rio Grande in a Corvette back in the 80s, and he had the speed. What he didn't have,
They always have the
He
speed.
put wings on, like the wings were. Someone goes, they're like, "How did you come up with that?" He's like, I think he just like guessed. He's like, I just made him.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do any aerodynamics. But the problem was the ramp. They didn't even do anything for the ramp. They just made it. And it was like kind of like this. So he goes and he hits the air so hard, the car just shatters on impact from the air. I think he lived though. But the Rio Grande is how long? It's a couple miles. It's like a mile
It's got
of
to
water.
be pretty far.
I think
Not
I
a
don't
mile,
know.
but it's huge.
Isn't that what cuts through the
Texas and Mexico, right?
Yeah,
the Grand Canyon? Isn't that the Rio Grande?
maybe,
No,
but not at that
all
point.
I know is that I
He
read
wasn't
I
doing
read a
the
book.
Grand Canyon, John. That's another.
No,
level.
there was the Battle of the Rio Grande, and that was how America stole Mexico. Is they made a fake. I know more about American history than you guys do.
Dude, I mean, well, technically you are Canadian.
I
so
am
that,
Canadian,
that
so we care more.
That
I
tracks.
don't even teach us that in school anymore.
Did they teach you that you guys like just took Mexico?
I don't think.
Like
you know,
Texas was literally Mexico, and then there's this book, if you ever read it, it's called The People's History of the United States, Howard Zinn.
Remember
And,
the Alamo.
Yes, but let's.
But it's like that was like straight up like the crazy thing is people are like, there's so many Mexicans in America. You're like, yeah, because they were in Mexico, and then you made it America.
Yeah, but the problem is, say,
Listen, we don't accept that kind of slander.
Dude, on the other hand,
You ever heard they call manifest destiny?
on the other half of the coin, if Mexico still held, that would just be one huge third world country down there. right? I mean, let's face it, they're not doing
Mexico's
great
not a
things.
third world country.
Parts of
They
it
got
are.
some stuff going on.
Mexico's not. Have
It
you been to
depends on
Mexico
where you
City?
are.
One of my favorite cities.
Yeah, I
I've
heard
ever
that
I
been
mean,
to.
was
listen, anywhere where the actual cartel is running the country, it's not a first world country.
No, but it's not a third world country.
No.
Second world?
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're even allowed. I take advantage of it all the time to say these type things. Like I know in a couple years, they'll be like, do you remember when we used to say third world? These are human beings.
They do actually. They already changed. They've changed it for a long
I'm
time.
sure.
They say developed.
Oh, underdeveloped?
Nations,
Sounds way
nations
worse.
that our CIA is holding down and taking all their resources out of.
Underdeveloped sounds like someone who just has to go to school multiple grades in a row. Like they have to keep repeating the grade. That sounds
There are some
way
countries
worse.
that need to keep repeating their grades. So.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's brutal. So, you travel a lot now?
Yeah, like for comedy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just in general.
I like to travel. Yeah, I'm a well-traveled person.
What's your favorite place you've been?
Oh, where's my favorite place?
For comedy or for not for comedy?
For comedy, Nashville.
Really?
For comedy, Nashville's my favorite place. Yeah.
Is it?
Nashville's
The
the
Zanies
shit.
there?
But I mean, again, I also live in New York City, which maybe it would be New York City.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, New York City. But Nashville's cool. I just like
A
Nashville.
lot of bachelor parties, bachelorette parties.
Yeah, that part I actually
Like
hate.
that.
But Nashville's a cool city, and
I never been.
it's honestly a very underrated city, or properly rated. I don't know, but I like Nashville, and the Zanies there's awesome club.
Yeah, I've heard the Zanies is great. I would love to go to Nashville. I'd love to go to New Orleans too. I've never been.
I've
to
also
either of those
never been
places.
to New Orleans. I want to go there.
Anywhere where you can just drink outside and get absolutely crazy. I got to go there. Before
I was supposed to
I
go
get too
there
old.
for Jazz Fest 2020, and then
Why? What happened?
there was this pandemic.
Scamdemic.
Dude,
Are you guys on YouTube?
We're gonna get
Good old
fucking
strike ski, dude. I had fucking Alex Stein on my low value mail show. Okay, at episode number 3, Alex Stein calls in. You know Alex Stein? You don't know primetime Alex Stein, the guy who he goes to the city council meetings and he like trolls them.
Oh yeah,
doing
okay.
like the songs and stuff. And then he confronted AOC. And
did he call it? Was he the big
Big
booty
Booty
guy?
Latino?
Oh, yeah, I see.
yeah. And he was just like going after Dan Crenshaw.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh no, he's like the best. He's a fucking lunatic. This guy. Okay.
Oh,
he's
he's
super
wild.
funny.
He's wild.
He's wild. He's like. But anyways, he what was I about to? Oh, what was I talking? Oh yeah, he called into episode 3 of Low Value Mail. So it was like just the start. He calls in and he's talking about his mom died of COVID and he was talking about something, and so he's like anti-vaxxer, and he kept calling on the show. He kept being like, yeah, you know the COVID vaccine. He goes, it's very safe and effective, but he was saying it sarcastically. He goes, it's very safe and effective, and I go, I wonder if YouTube's like algorithms are getting like good enough for detection where they can detect sarcasm, because there's 2 cardinal sins on YouTube right now: COVID and election. You can't say that the election was stolen, and you can't say that COVID's fake.
No,
those are the 2 things that will legit get you in trouble.
Immediately.
Wow.
Like, right? And so, anyways, he kept being like, "Yeah, it's very safe and effective." And I said, "I wonder if," and then boom, got a strike.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I peeled it, and I lost.
That
Wow.
stinks.
Wow. Well, hopefully what Mike said earlier was drowned out by both of our voices.
Hopefully.
We don't get a strike.
I was also a never masker, which was a battle.
To be honest, we've talked a lot about that.
Dude,
about
I would love you to meet my buddy, who was also my friend Kevin.
And
He
I
was
took
all-
the train every day because I didn't stop working.
Yeah.
So it was like, I still have a little bit of that tension because I was ready. Like, you are ready every day.
It's got
like, you're just
PTSD.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
like, it could go down. So I got a little bit of that tenseness in my shoulder. Like when someone talks to
Yeah,
me on
yeah.
the train, I'll be like,
I love that you refuse to wear the headphones.
a
when
girl
it's-
talked to me the other day, and
quite
I
useful.
had like a flashback. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble now. They're gonna say, but I realize you don't got to wear a mask no more.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've never worn a mask?
No, because I do construction, so I knew immediately they were lying. Like, not that they made a mistake. They were lying. It's like 1,000%. Anyone who's any kind of a physician.
Why does that?
He's saying he knows he works in construction, so he's worn those masks all
Those
the time.
paper masks
yeah, yeah.
Knows how
are
bad they are.
100%.
Yeah, they don't do jack shit.
And everyone knew that before. That's why, like, now they're like, do you respect doctors? I'm like, not a lot.
Yeah.
Not if they're gonna lie. Like, they know. If you dude, you can
Like
see
those,
through the
it's
side.
not like the KN95.
It's a
it's farce. It's
if
so
you
farce.
say like this is for my mental, I'd be like, okay, it's like a child with his teddy bear. But if you think anything other than that,
the only
you're
thing
wrong.
I would say about those masks is if you just like full sneeze, not covering your face.
Sure.
Yes.
That's
It will
probably
help a
that's
little
probably better than not having a mask on.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But you have to change them so frequently to make that not gross that no one would even be able to do it.
And you can't like touch them, otherwise you like contaminate them. The whole thing is ridiculous. Yeah, never mask. That was a tough position.
Oh, it was brutal. Even guys I know that were on my team, like when they
team
would
no mask.
Yeah, they were like on my side. When they would get to the subway, they would crumble. I remember every one of them. They go, "I hope you don't," and I'm like.
The best was Ryan was not like a no mask guy specifically. He just didn't care.
Yeah.
So then sometimes he'd have it, sometimes he wouldn't. And oh man, we would get yelled at.
I could see Ryan not giving a shit, and he's just like vaping on the train.
For sure. You know what the best was? I wore a gaiter, and then they came out because I was like, I wasn't a mask. I hated the mask, but I would wear a gaiter, which honestly,
it's comfortable.
Gaiter not only is it comfortable, but once winter hits. In New York and you're walking down the street, you go, why have I never worn a gaiter in the winter? Because it actually keeps your face warm.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of the whole
and
COVID
you can
thing.
rob a bank.
But then but then they came out and they go, the gaiter is worse than no mask at all. And I go, this is awesome. He goes, this is worse than not wearing a mask somehow.
Yeah, I don't know
like
how
the way
that's
it like traps the disease.
It just catches and it gets wet. If you've ever been skiing, dude, those things they just get wet and then they freeze and then they get wet again.
And my girlfriend's like a bit of a germaphobe,
Dude,
so like, she hated the gaiter, and then it literally comes out that the gaiter is worse than nothing at all.
At least she's an accurate germaphobe.
Yeah.
I've met germaphobes. I used to do a bit about it. These germaphobes that are like hack germaphobes, they're like they say they are, but I go in their house and there's like cat shit all over their back. I'm like, bro. What kind of germaphobe are you? You can't have, in my opinion, you can't even have a cat if you're a germaphobe, unless they don't shit in that box.
I don't like
you're
that,
not factoring
man.
toxoplasmosa.
What's that? Oh, the brain
like
thing?
chemical.
Crazy cat lady disease.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they have the disease from the cat, which is probably making them
in the brain, right?
Dude,
in the brain. It's making Mad Hatter, like not Mad Hatter's disease, but
I do not like that. I actually went. JJ was on a show once, and we went, and this comic let us use her bathroom, dude, and like. You asked JJ about it. He was so mad, but she had like the litter box in the bathroom, and you like couldn't like use the. You had to like step like into the litter box to like piss in the toilet. It was horrible, dude. And it's just all shit there.
It stinks too. It
Dude,
smells.
you shouldn't be allowed to have cats in your home unless you can like have a litter box in a basement.
Yeah, I know.
Never
honestly
see it.
like a cat's in a really
Disgusting.
tight quarter is a really like. Again, it's one of those things where once you have them, you probably don't notice the smell after not long. Like,
which is
same
bad.
as if you work at a fish factory or something.
Same as how I don't realize that my apartment smells like weed all the time.
Yeah, I mean that would be an absolute curse if your nose did not do that.
Terrible.
Like did not acclimate to
just
the smell.
smelled all the time. Dude.
Yeah, you're like just everything's a fresh smell. But yeah, cats are gross. I have a dog, but
every time I cook a steak
dogs.
in here, the house will then smell like steak for 4 days.
Yeah, for sure. But that smell of cat piss, like that specific.
Horrible,
I lived in a place we had cats, dogs. The cat and these people weren't taking care of them. The cats were shitting all over the place. The dog was huge. So you'd walk in, dude. A dog dump inside a closed building is a different animal. I walked out. You start like gagging.
How big of a dog was it?
Over 100 pounds. Monster.
That's a human shit.
Monster.
That's a huge
You'd see
dog,
it in.
dude.
It's a human
Not
shit,
only did
probably.
he and the cats poop wherever they wanted, so did one of my roommates. I got a text.
bro.
I thought it was a New York slang. I was out of town. He goes, "Yo, homeboy came in mad drunk. Shit the place." I was like, I thought it was like a shit faced thing, and then I've got like the details. He's like, "No, he pooped all up and down the hall, like
Fuck off.
yeah." And then he went into someone's room and peed all over his stuff.
JJ's roommate JJ just told me his roommate did that.
No.
And JJ's roommate came home super drunk like last week or something.
Holy shit.
Opened up one of the roommates, not JJ's room, but I guess a girl lives with him, and then the guy opened up her room and just pissed in it, thinking that it was the bathroom.
People, there's certain drunks. I knew them in high school
That's
as
tough.
they like sleep pee. Like I even know one guy, right? So I don't know what happened. Everyone was passed out at the end of the night. He walked up. Someone's seen it happen. He walked up to this girl. She was like sleeping like this on a couch.
No.
Peed on her face, all over.
It's literally like assault.
Yeah. Then tried to flush.
It's like a crime.
He was like swinging his hand to flush. Woke up in the morning because he was blacked out, and tried to hit on that girl with no clue.
Wait, how did he know that though?
He didn't know anything.
Who told him that he was peeing on her?
Oh, one of our friends seen the whole thing.
Oh, just watch the whole
yeah,
thing.
and he was like, "Yeah."
Did she wake up when it was happening?
I think she half woke up and went back. You know,
my
Did she wake up? She goes, I had this
But she
crazy
knew-
dream that I was in Guantanamo Bay getting waterboarded.
oh man,
Yo.
yeah, unbelievable. I feel like if once you poop your pants, just That's enough.
Time to stop drinking.
Yeah, that's enough.
Time to stop drinking. That's, yeah. Ooh,
Thankfully,
buddy.
I've never done any of those things.
My
got that bad.
buddies in college used to, a buddy in college used to get so drunk our freshman year, and he would consistently pee in his roommate's hamper, like, which is, you know, places to go. At least it's ready
thinks
to
it's a
go.
toilet.
I had a roommate who had a cat who would shit, or was it a roommate or my friend? Someone's cat would constantly shit in their hamper.
Dude, that's brutal.
That's because that's
You gotta
where
get rid
like
of
they
that
shit and
cat.
like to hide it there, you know,
Ugh,
because they all love to
Disgusting, dude.
hide their shit.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, dude. We're just out an hour. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we start to wrap up? This has been great.
Can we talk about how the election was rigged?
No, don't. Cancel it. It's getting cut. Getting cut, dude.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair. There's all these votes.
Oh, dude.
81 million. I don't know.
YouTube.
Seems high.
YouTube.
This
we
is how
don't
he does
need it.
podcasts. At the end of every one, he goes, he's like, yeah, they're gone. He's eliminating competition.
No, they won't get you for that.
Oh,
It's
my
so
God.
funny. But in a couple years, we'll all be joking about that.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we were cheating. We were all cheating.
No, well, straight up, like YouTube will eventually just be like, okay, we don't care about that anymore. On to the new
That's
thing
so
we care
weird.
about.
That's so interesting.
I feel like after the trials, when they get convicted.
No, after the executions.
Yeah.
Once the executions are all done with, then they'll be like, okay.
My favorite conspiracy theory,
Execution
actually,
for
before we go,
trespass? Oh.
I don't know if you've heard this one, and this is the one where you're just like, all right, enough. They tell you that people that you know are currently alive have been dead for years.
What's this?
They'll be like, Hillary Clinton was executed 6 months ago, you moron.
Oh.
That's not her. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure it's her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the original one of those was Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
Remember
Avril
that?
Lavigne is another one.
Yeah.
They say that she died and was replaced.
Why
by
would you
someone
replace
else.
her?
Who even cares?
Because it was in the height of her like popularity.
Oh.
She died, and they wanted to keep
too
making
much money.
on her.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Waiting
Anyways,
this.
if we're not going to talk about the election being rigged, then I guess I have nothing else to talk about.
We'll eventually get to that.
Well, dude, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Look,
Appreciate
give them your plugs everywhere they can find you.
You Tuesday nights, Low Value Mail live on YouTube at 9 p.m. Thursday nights, I have a new show actually called The Bathhouse, live from the green room of the Stand Comedy Club,
Fuck yeah,
which
dude.
is a call-in show / it's basically just like a radio show, but with just random guests, whoever happens to be there, and then Friday the Boys Cast with Ryan Long.
All right.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dope.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Michael.
Mike T. Kerrigan, Instagram.
Oh yeah, at Danny Jokes. You can find me everywhere. at
There you
Danny
go.
Jokes.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
There it is.
that
Mike's
too.
only plug is Instagram, so people usually remember. At Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Episodes are out every single Wednesday. Listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pods, everywhere you can find your podcast. Go follow Danny. Go check out his stuff. Thanks for being here, baby. We'll
Appreciate
see you
it.
next week. Good night.